So today we're diving into the Fast 800. This is a program that says, hey, maybe weight loss isn't about willpower at all. Instead, it's about fixing a hidden hormonal problem. It's all about combining the latest science on intermittent fasting with a super clear plan for your long-term health. All right, let's jump right in. Okay, so our guide for all this is the bestseller The Fast 800 by Dr. Michael Mosley. Now, you probably know this guy. He's the doctor who made the 5-2 diet a household name. Well, you can think of this book as his big update, his unified theory based on all the newest research out there. And you know, for Dr. Mosley, this isn't just some academic exercise. It is deeply, deeply personal. I mean, look at this quote. This is the why behind his entire journey. He watched his father go down this path and was absolutely determined not to follow. And that's a fear I think a lot of us can really understand. So, first up, a doctor's wake-up call. Yeah, this whole story kicks off not with a diet plan, but with a really shocking diagnosis that forced Dr. Mosley to face the exact thing he'd been trying to run from. So picture this. He goes in for a routine blood test, and bam, he gets hit with a type 2 diabetes diagnosis. The doctor tells him he's going to need medication for the rest of his life. But you know what? He just wasn't willing to accept that. He decided to fight back. So what does he do? He doesn't just take the prescription. No, he dives headfirst into the science. He literally becomes his own guinea pig, documenting the whole thing for a BBC documentary. He was on a mission, trying to figure out if intermittent fasting could be the answer. You know, a way out without lifelong medication? All right, section 2, the hidden hunger trap. Because that mission of his, it led him to discover the real biological reasons so many of us find it impossible to lose weight. And spoiler alert, it has almost nothing to do with willpower. Which leads to this massive question, right? Why has obesity just exploded over the last 40 years? I mean, we've all heard the old advice to eat less, move more, but it's pretty obvious that's not the whole story. Dr. Mosley found the answer, and it wasn't about willpower. It was about our hormones. And this right here is a total game changer. The big idea in the book is that gaining weight isn't some kind of moral failure. It's just biology at work. And the main character in this whole drama, it's a hormone called insulin. Think of it as the master switch for storing fat. And this is how that trap works. It's a vicious cycle. So you eat some refined carbs. Think bread, pasta, sugary stuff. Your blood sugar shoots way up. In response, your pancreas just floods your system with insulin to bring it down. But it overcorrects and your blood sugar crashes. And when it crashes, your brain starts screaming, "I'm starving, feed me more carbs." And you do it all over again. I love this quote from Dr. Robert Lustig because it just cuts right to the chase. Insulin shunts sugar to fat. It makes your fat cells grow. It's that simple. Insulin's main job is to get sugar out of your bloodstream. And where does it put it? Yep, straight into your fat cells. So the more insulin you have floating around, the more fat you're going to store. Period. Okay, so here's the absolute key takeaway. When your insulin is high, it's like a bouncer at a club. It lets all the energy into your fat cells, but it won't let any of it back out. The book uses this great analogy. It's like having $1 million in a bank account, but you've lost the PIN. You're technically rich in energy, but your body can't access any of it. So what does it do? It just keeps telling you you're broke and that you need to eat more. And guess who's figured this all out? Oh yeah, the food industry. They are masters at exploiting this. Just look at this table. All these super processed can't eat just one foods, they all hover around this magic ratio of about 2 parts carbs to 1 part fat. And why is that ratio so irresistible? Well, get this. It's the exact same ratio as breast milk, the very first food we're programmed to crave. It's basically a biological hack. Okay, so that's the trap. But the good news is there's an escape hatch. The solution is all about hitting a biological reset button that we all have built right into us. And that reset button has a fancy name, autophagy. It literally means to eat oneself. Sounds a little weird, I know, but think of it like your body's internal spring cleaning service. When you give your digestion a break, your body goes to work clearing out all the old, junky, damaged cells to make room for fresh new ones. And here's the kicker. This incredible process only gets switched on when you're fasting. So, how does that actually work? Well, after about 10 to 12 hours of not eating, your body starts to run low on its easy access fuel, which is sugar. At that point, it has to make a choice. And it does something amazing. It flips the metabolic switch.
It's kind of like a hybrid car that runs out of battery and seamlessly switches over to its gas engine. Your body stops burning sugar for fuel and starts burning its own stored fat. And that process creates this amazing, clean-burning fuel source called ketones. All right, so now we get the why behind fasting. Let's move on to the how. We're going to look at a few different ways you can actually do this. The book lays out a whole toolkit of options so you can find what works for you. First, you've got periodic fasting. These are longer fasts you might do once in a while for a major reset. Then there's the one you've probably heard of, the 5-2 approach. That's eating normally for 5 days and cutting way back for 2. And finally, there's time-restricted eating, or TRE, which is just about squeezing all your meals into a smaller window of time each day. Okay, part 5. This is where it all comes together. Let's talk about the Fast 800 itself, Dr. Mosley's updated program that pulls all these ideas into one flexible plan. And at the very heart of this program is one single number, 800. Dr. Mosley calls it the magic number, and for good reason. It's all about the powerful changes it can kickstart in your body. So why 800 specifically? Well, it's basically the sweet spot. It's low enough to force your body to flip that metabolic switch and start burning its own fat stores. But, and this is key, it's high enough that you can actually manage it. You're still getting enough nutrition to function and not feel totally miserable. It's effective, but it's also doable. And another great thing is its flexibility. You basically have two main paths. If you want to go for rapid weight loss, maybe to kickstart things or break through a plateau, there's the fast track. That's 800 calories every single day for a limited time. But if you're looking for something more gradual or for long-term maintenance, there's the new 5-2. Simple, just 800 calories 2 days a week. The point is, you can make it fit your own life and your own goals. Okay, last section. And this might be the most important one. Health beyond the scale. Because honestly, what's really motivating about all this isn't just the number on the scale going down. The real prize is what happens to your overall health. And the science on this is just staggering. We're not talking about having to lose 100 pounds. Just losing a modest 5% of your body weight can have a huge impact. We're talking lower blood pressure, less risk of a heart attack, a reduced risk for several cancers. You'll sleep better, like over 20 minutes more a night. You slash your risk of developing type 2 diabetes by more than half. Plus, you'll boost your mood and even your sex drive. This isn't just about living longer, it's about living better. So, we're going to leave you with this final thought, which is really the core message of the book. Your health is truly in your hands. We've walked through the science, we've laid out the strategy, so the only question left to ask yourself is this: what is the one change, maybe even a tiny one, that you could make today to start taking back control?